So here we have page 721, number 2. If you go into the book and look at it, what they give you is the speed of a dragster. And the dragster goes 1 over 4 miles in 4 and 2/5 seconds. So what the question is asking is, it says convert this miles per second into miles per minute. So we don't need to convert miles, but we do need to convert seconds into minutes. So how do we do that? We're going to multiply by the ratio 60 seconds over 1 minute. Right? Make sure that the units that you want to cancel out are on opposite sides of the quotient so that they cancel out. Right? So our seconds are going to cancel out because we have a seconds in the numerator and we have a seconds in the denominator. And then we're going to multiply straight across. So when we multiply straight across, this is going to be 60 times 1 over 4. And if we do 1 over 4 times 60, how do we do that? We put a 1 under the 60 and multiply straight across, and we get 60 over 4. So let's get 60 over 4 in the numerator, and this is going to be miles over. And now to multiply these, well, this is 4 and 2/5 times 1 is just 4 and 2/5, right? But I want to go ahead and convert this from a mixed number into a fraction. So how do we do that? We'll take the 4, times it by the denominator, that's going to be 20, and add it to the numerator, right? So it's going to be 22 over 5. So let's do 22 over 5 minutes. Because remember, our seconds have canceled out, so now it's miles over minutes. Miles over minutes. So now we have a complex fraction problem, right? We have a fraction in the numerator, we have a fraction in the denominator. And so how do we solve this? Well, we're going to go ahead and write it as 60 over 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and say divide by 22 over 5. And we're going to now turn this from a division problem into a multiplication problem. And when we do that, we're going to flip the numerator and denominator of the second fraction. So it's going to be 5 over 22. Right? And so we're going to multiply straight across, and we get 300 divided by 88. And this is, of course, in miles per minute. But we can go ahead and reduce this fraction, right? So let's go ahead and divide by, let's see, what's the greatest common factor here? Would be 4. Okay. We can start by dividing by 2, but then you'll see that we can also divide by another 2 once that's done. Okay. So let's divide by 4 in the numerator, and we get, I'm sorry, first we want to go ahead and divide 300 by 88. So that's going to be 3 and 36 over 88. And now the greatest common factor here in the fraction would be 4. So we can reduce this fraction, right? So it's going to be 3. And I'm going to divide the numerator by 4. It's 9. The denominator by 4, 22. And now my fraction is simplified. And I'm going to put my units. So miles per minute. And that's my final answer here. 3 and 922 miles per minute. So 3 and 922 miles per minute. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a couple more of these problems. Here we have another complex fraction, but these involve variables, but the process is the same. So we're going to write the numerator, g to the power of 3 times h over b, divided by g to the power of g times h to the power of 3 over b squared. And then we're going to rewrite this as a multiplication problem. So it's g to the power of 3 times h over b times, and we're going to flip the fraction, so it's going to be b squared over g h to the 3. So this multiplication problem, we just multiply straight across, so it's going to be g to the power of 3. I'm going to put them in descending order of powers. So I'm going to say b to the power of 2, and then h over g b, and h to the power 3. Okay, so you can see I put them in the same order in the numerator and denominator, so it makes the canceling out easier. So we have 3 g's at the top, we have 1 g at the bottom, and so we can cancel this g out and subtract 1 from the 3. So it's going to be g squared is in the numerator. And then here we have 2 b's on the top and then 1 b in the bottom, so that can cancel out, leaving 1 b at the top. Here we have 1 h at the top and 3 at the bottom, so one of those can cancel out, leaving 2 h's at the bottom in the denominator, so we'll say h squared. And this is our simplified version of our fraction. Right? So we can put g squared times b over h squared. Okay, so now we have this last one here, and it's the same process. So it's negative 24, this is the numerator, t to the 5 over hp squared divided by 16m squared p over ht to the 4. And then we're going to turn it into a multiplication problem. So negative 24 m to the 3 t to the 5 over hp squared divided by, multiplied by, and now I'm going to flip the numerator and denominator of the second fraction. So it's going to be ht to the 4 over 16m to the 2 times p. And so now we multiply straight across. And so we'll get negative 24. There's an m to the 3 here. There's no m here. So it's going to be m to the 3, stays the same. T to the 5 times t to the 4. When we multiply the same base, we add the powers. So it's going to be t to the 9. And we have an h here, but no h here. So we have h. Over, and we're going to do the same thing here. We'll start with the 16, and then we have no 1h here, no h here, so we're going to have an h. I'm going to put it right here under the h. We have 2 p's here and 1 p here, so we add the powers, and remember, if there's no power, the power is 1, so it's going to be p to the power of 3, meaning there's 3 p's. So we'll do p to the power of 3, and then we have our m squared. Okay, so now we want to reduce, and so the greatest common factor between 24 and 16 would be 4. So if we divide the numerator by 4, that gives us, actually it would be not 4, it'd be 8, right? 8. So if we divide the numerator by 8, it's negative 3 over 2. And then here we have 3 m's in the top, 2 m's in the bottom, so that's just going to leave 1 m in the numerator. We're taking the 3 and subtracting 2 from it. And there's only 1 t in the numerator, so t is going to stay the same, t to the power of 9. There's 3 p's in the denominator, so that's going to stay the same. And then the h's cancel out, right? 1 h in the numerator, 1 h in the denominator, they cancel out. So this is our final answer. So negative 3m t to the 9 over 2p to the 3. And we're done.